Now, it wouldn't quite be the NBA playoffs if there wasn't at least a little bit of controversy. We are halfway through round one, and it has been a war on and off the court. And I recently found myself in a war off the court. So if you've been living under a rock or haven't seen, which I don't know if you are watching this NBA video and you haven't seen this play, you are not an NBA fan. This is one of the craziest plays I have ever seen. Of course, I am talking about the final play of Game 4 between the Nuggets and the Clippers. Here we are. Fat Body's got the ball. We all know he is taking the last shot. But just when will he take the last shot? He's a smart basketball player, so maybe he purposefully shot the ball with some time left. But let's go ahead and review the tape, and we'll talk about the controversy.
Zubats is on him. And this is for the win. Oh, it's close. They're going to go.
What the fuck? Now, I was watching this game live, and initially, I thought, that dunk is no good. How many times before have we seen a dunk at the buzzer not count because it's barely touching the fingertip as they're throwing it through the rim? Now, from my understanding, for a basket to count, it doesn't matter if the ball is all the way in the hoop, past the hoop itself, the rim, but it has to go through the net to count, to fully count. And obviously, in basketball, if someone is still touching the ball when time expires, the game is done. It's over. If the ball is in the air and it happens to travel into the net, nobody touches it, it's good. Now, I just kind of look at this screenshot here and think it's kind of funny. Look at Fat Body Nikola Jokic up there by Kawhi Leonard. This whole time after the shot went in, after he made this dunk, he looked completely uninterested. And I mean, it could be he was just keeping his focus in case it didn't count. It was so close that even he doubted it. Like, hey guys, this could possibly get called back. We don't know for sure. Let's take a look at it. Now, this is exactly where we got into the controversy. Like I said before, when I initially saw this play, I thought no good. And when they went to review it and they showed all the angles, there's a lot of skipped frames. It wasn't like they had the proper frames to show. Now, so I took to X, Twitter. I call it Twitter. I saw, obviously, everybody posting the clip. I saw Legion Hoops post the clip. And per sources, obviously just a meme account, a rage bait account, shared this photo of ball in the hoop and said, "Ball in the hoop, buddy." Kind of like a dick, like a guy like, yeah, buddy, like that. But this idiot proceeded to show this image here. 0.1 second on the clock, sure. But this is right before the clock went red. Oh, this fan right here. Right here. This is the moment in time where I stopped it when I was scraping through the video trying to find the frame of him touching it. After the review, they counted the basket. Nuggets won the game. But I came to Twitter to show this. From this angle, it's showing like, hey, he's still throwing it down with this hand. It's cleared this hand. Nobody's saying this hand. And people think that we're saying that his whole hand was touching it. No, it's his fingertips, which is still part of the body. Now, when I saw this tweet of them being a little aggressive, passive aggressive, really, honestly, with the buddy, I mean, it's really kind of pussy child behavior. So I myself responded with, "Still touching the ball when the time expired, buddy," because that was my firm belief. Now you can see on the tweet, I did get a couple of replies. I just wanted to take some time to look at some of them because I think the state of NBA social media is very weak and it does not do a lot for the game. So let's just go ahead and take a look at some of these monsters and troglodytes that feast off of any sort of argument on Twitter. Now, this person here claims to be a hoop knower. His name is Hoops, or she. Says it doesn't matter. It was already through the hoop. My brother in Christ, it does not matter if it is in the hoop if you are still touching it. It is still your possession, and as soon as it lets go, that's a shot. All right? Okay? Now this seems to be everybody's favorite go-to when their team wins and somebody, brings anything into question. They just say cry, you know. And that Denver sports tag really is hiding what side they're on. They're not on the side of pure basketball, but just trying to poke at people. Brax replies to my evidence I found at the time. This was the first time anyone was showing anything like this that I saw, was my post of it. And he says womp womp, which is just a synonym for crying that these incels use just to sound a little different. This person here to you, what is this supposed to prove? You can't see his fingers, you dry vagina. Dry vagina, I'll give him that one. I haven't heard that one out of these people. It's usually cry or bitch or one or the other. Now this Gigabrain, this absolute Nostradamus of hoops, and, well, time itself, reminded me that there's still 0.1 seconds on the clock. Fucking obviously, it is a still image. Time stops in images is what I reminded him of. Now he came in and was saved by quite possibly my favorite interaction out of this. Good old Craig Hart here. The only time I was a little bit aggressive was to match Per Source's aggression at this ball in the hoop, buddy. And all I said was still touching the ball when the time expired, buddy. Now Craig here must have really taken that to heart. It's in his name. And he says, go a frame forward and it's out of his hand, you fucking moron. I did that. I showed my evidence, but Craig must not have seen that. It was not in his narrative. And I replied to Craig, my good buddy here. Craig, why are you angry? You got a gifted win. Enjoy it, Internet Warrior. And I only called him Internet Warrior because he called me a fucking moron. Based on the facts at the time, it was split on people who doubted that he got it off and Nuggets fans. And they're going to take the win, and obviously they're going to push back on anybody doubting it. Now, Craig replied with photos of his own, here showing the first photo that we had, and then the photo I took. And me, in my eyes, I perceive it as his right arm is still touching that ball with his middle finger or ring finger. That is just how I judge it. Obviously, it's easy for anyone to say that he's not touching it or he is touching it. I took the side that he was touching it. That's my belief. So I reminded him, hey, I think that second picture shows his fingertip is on it, Craig. And I was calling him by his name to keep it peaceful on my end. To which Craig replies, now this is where he really got off the hinges, you're entirely full of shit. There's no way to tell. Call stands, cry, bitch. Like I said before, their favorite thing to say is cry. But no one was crying on this side. Then Craig went ahead and blocked me right after that, so we could not continue our discourse. Craig, if you're watching this video, we can still be friends, buddy. Follow my ex. Message me, you fucking worm. Now, as I said there, while reviewing these tweets at the original time that this took place, they did not show any angles where it was clear and conclusive. If they would have shown the angles right away that they came up with and we didn't see initially, then there wouldn't have been this discourse. But they did show us what really happened.
And this is the definitive angle we're about to show you from the NBA. This is the moment that Zach Zarba decided, nope, all right, it was...
There it is. The jig is up. I have to swallow my pride, but I am not afraid to do it. I will do it many times. I will be right. I will be wrong. As we all will be. But at least I'm man enough to do it. That leads me to this interaction with a good Nuggets fan, a proper ball knower, and just a genuinely good person. Now, in response to my tweet that I sent to Per Sources, this man here, the dude Abitus, I hope I'm not fucking up your name because you are a good person. Telling me here, Harden clearly fouling Aaron Gordon on the elbow there with time on the clock. This was the first time anyone had brought this up, and I had looked at that, I just didn't bring it up. This was the first time any of these smooth brains brought this point up to me, and it was a valid point. I responded with, that you can make a real argument for. I never said he didn't. To be honest, most shots at the buzzer, people are fouled and they rarely call it. I'm simply saying that Aaron Gordon was touching the ball when the lights came on. Which he responded with the photo of the angle that came out way after the game was over that the public didn't see for quite some time. He says, might have been, but I don't think anyone can say for sure. We're talking about less than 1/10 of a second. On the Nuggets broadcast, the ref's review flipped back and forth between these two photos for light on and off. With my gold-tinted glasses, ball looks out to me. Seeing this new angle obviously made me rethink my position, and it didn't take me long to just say, you know what, it's good, I'm leaving this be. I didn't respond to anyone else. Not outside of poking just a little fun at the people that are being completely unreasonable. So I just had this to say to my good friend here. I did just see this angle. That's the best angle to show, and no one is showing it, so I didn't see it. Does seem like it skips pretty far, but looks out from here. To which my good pal here responds, there could definitely be a missing frame there. I saw another post with better footage, and this is where ESPN shows it on their big screen instead of a snap of the refs looking at a screen. I, admitting defeat and admiring this guy's civil work, responded with, like, I know we have better technology to get those frames in between, but I understand the NBA just wanting to can this and move on. Thanks for being a ball fan and having proper discourse. To which my good long friend that I'd buy beers for replied, likewise, appreciate the civil, reasonable discussion with you, mate. Stay well. And that is just about as good of an encounter you're going to have on NBA Twitter. I mean, it is a fucking mess on NBA Twitter right now. Obviously, being a Timberwolves fan, the Lakers and the Timberwolves played game 4 yesterday, and it is... the Lakers are getting hoed by the refs. The Wolves are getting hoed by the refs. It depends really, honestly, who you're cheering for, the way you feel about it, I guess. The refs have been just bad overall in the playoffs. I mean, look at the Pistons and Knicks game. And I could talk about these two games as well. It sucks that these games come down to these calls. And obviously, when it gets to a point, you have to call it the right way. But I'm also on the side of you could do things better earlier on in the game to put yourself in a better position so these things don't affect it this way. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing. We're always going to be arguing, but we're never going to get anywhere if X is just, we're always arguing and bickering and throwing personals over basketball. It's just basketball, dude. We're just watching. We're not the players playing it, dude. It's so much harder for them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this little argument and this little encounter I had with NBA Twitter that turned out to be a pretty fun time, honestly. So I'll see you guys later.